Hi, my name is Mitchell Lindgren, and I have a computer science major here at Arizona State University. My debate response, this time I'll be going against my original debate post, and my rebuttal will be the United States should not be militarily involved in the Middle East because it has cost us thousands of American lives as well as trillions of dollars in taxpayer money. And I'm going to break down my debate into a little bit in the backstory of how we got into the Middle East, what happens when we stay, and the results of everything. So we went to the Middle East in the 1990s when Saddam Hussein had invaded Kuwait. Saddam had defied the United Nations Security Council. The Security Council demands to withdraw, and that's why the United States get involved. Why did we stay? We ended up staying because of non-state actors like Al Qaeda, like ISIS, and to almost um, rebuttal the attacks of 9/11 and other terrorist attacks that were leading to our belief that factions and these non-state actors had nuclear capabilities, which was obviously a huge security threat. The whole premise of the Iraq War came down to Bush's bureaucratic advisors. Um, the Secretary of Defense, Donald Rumsfeld, as well as Dick Cheney, were the main people giving advice to President Bush at the time. They had the closest ear to him. They were convincing him that this is something that we needed to do, which was actually in contrary to belief of what General Shinsky wanted to do, who was the Army Chief of Staff, who you could agree was the more experienced military member out of the four people discussing the topic. And President Bush had actually did not listen to General Shinsky that about his advice about bringing more troops into an area that we've never been before. And he went with Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney. And this you could almost go hand in hand with the Vietnam War, which was only 20 years prior to this. That we are going into a place that we had never been before, that we were fighting against locals, that you didn't really know who your enemy was. And that was one of the problems on why you could consider why we lost the Vietnam Wars, because we weren't unmanned, we weren't unmatched in skill sets, but they knew the land better. And that's an issue that we ran into in Iraq and Afghanistan and in Syria, was that we were fighting an unknown enemy. And the rules of engagement didn't favor us at that time. So after not finding any weapons of mass destruction as one of our main pinpoints of going to the Middle East, I believe the United States should have withdrew from the Middle East because our purpose there was almost fulfilled. We went there to take care of Saddam Hussein. A huge power struggle happened after he fell. These non-state actors like Al Qaeda and ISIS formed, and every single time we leave, these non-state actors keep forming, and it comes at the cost of all of our American troops, our ladies and gentlemen that are fighting for us, and it almost makes you think, why are we there? So this is why I believe that after initially going into the Middle East and taking care of Saddam Hussein, I think we should have withdrawn at that point, because the Iraq War by itself, we had lost nearly 4,500 American troops, and the Afghanistan War we had lost 2,345. In both wars combined, nearly 1 million were wounded, and it costed the United States $6 trillion. Um, and another great example is that, our foreign policy in the Middle East, we think we know more than we actually do. For example, the nuclear capabilities. We tried to put Ahmed Chalabi as one of the frontrunners for the Iraqi elections, and he ended up winning maybe 2% of the population. So it kind of goes to show that the United States was ill-informed based upon Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney's original drive to go into the Middle East, and that we should have listened to General Shinsky in the first place, who was more experienced. But I believe that we should withdraw from the Middle East, and we should no longer be involved anymore. Thank you.